8 members from the cast of the award-winning television show The West Wing are endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris in a new ad made in partnership with the Lincoln Project. Take a look.
The right kind of president reminds us that honor and dignity aren't relics of the past,
but the foundation of our future.
They know that while their time here is fleeting, their service can build a stronger America for generations to come. The woman who will soon sit behind this desk will be the first in many ways.
she will lead America
to a new era, a proud era.
A future where we will build
as one nation.
A time of opportunity and prosperity for every American.
Every family.
Her name is Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
And she will be our next president.
Wow, let's bring in longtime political strategist and consultant Rick Wilson. He is a co-founder and board member of the Lincoln Project. And John Heilman, I'll give you the first question for Rick.
And also, I believe the author of that ad, or the author of the script of that ad, according, I'm like Donald Trump, a little bird told me. There are two obvious questions, one of which is, this thing, I understand from my little bird, this thing came together real quick.
Yes.
And I think the biggest question watching it is, beautiful ad. We don't get to see any of their faces. I think maybe those two things are connected.
You know, the West Wing was such a cultural icon for a generation of political people and a generation of Americans. And it did remind people all the time, even though it was fiction, it was a fiction of a White House people wanted. They wanted the honor and dignity. They wanted the sense of service. They wanted the idea that people in that sacred space were there for the American people and not for their own financial gain or their personal aggrandizement or whatever lunatic fantasies that have empowered certain recent residents of that office. And we didn't show Trump in the ad. We showed the White House. We showed the city. We showed America in an aspirational way.
Well, I also meant none of the actors' faces.
Yeah.
Just,
for sure.
Just all aspirational.
Yeah.
Rev?
I think one of the things that West Wing brought to all Americans is that we actually felt like we were on the West Wing.
Sure.
By the cast coming out and endorsing, or at least some members of the cast, Kamala Harris, doesn't that also in a subliminal way say that these are the people that we learned what the West Wing was about, who feels this should be in the West Wing? Was that part of the message?
The idea was to show people, to remind people that the stories they saw on the West Wing, that the stories they saw about that White House also exist in real life. Republican and Democratic presidents before have put the country first. They've done the things that leadership demands when they're in the White House. And so we're really proud to work with the West Wing cast on this. It was an amazing group of people to work with, and it did happen at a speed that is like speed of light.
Yeah,
so
really.
Rick, this sounds like a little bit of a prosaic question after the kind of lofty rhetoric of the West Wing and the aspirations of the cast there. But when you make an ad like this, whose minds do you think you might be able to change? Are you making it thinking, right, there are certain people we want to target, older voters perhaps who reminisce about that period, or are you just hoping it reaches somebody somewhere?
Well, look, there are an awful lot of Gen X voters who are still in the undecided camp. There are some soft Gen X Republicans that a little bit of research has shown us are still in play. Those folks have moved over to Harris in meaningful numbers, bigger than Trump has ever lost before in either 16 or 20. And so talking to those folks, but it is also a more broad appeal to talk to America and to remind them that they don't have to accept something lesser in the White House this time.
So, Rick, there was an ad that you guys made a rebuttal to that really broke through with people, that was played on a lot of football games and things like that, about Kamala Harris, in her own words, saying a few years ago that she supported transgender surgery for prison inmates.
Right.
It turns out that was actually a Trump-era policy.
Right.
Let's just watch the rebuttal ad, because I'm not sure everyone saw this as opposed to the original ad.
Have you seen this ad? Donald Trump is spending millions attacking Kamala Harris on a desperate lie. Taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens is a Trump administration policy. He's attacking Kamala Harris for his own record, and he thinks you're too dumb to get it. He's gaslighting America. Because Trump is for he, him. Kamala is for us.
Wow. So, Rick, I mean, that's the truth about that policy. But the original ad broke through in a way that even Democrats were saying, did she really say that?
You know, they invested about $30 million in that ad. They bashed it into the heads of particularly younger male voters around the country. They did a lot of testing on it. They knew it was working. This ad came together in a way that was pushing back on it because, as Joe has been pointing out for weeks, this is a fact. It was Trump's policy. It was always Trump's era policy. He didn't do, Donald Trump would issue an executive order at the drop of a hat.
Right.
Never touched that. Never did a thing about that. Didn't care about that.
What's so amazing is they can't say, oh, we didn't know it was there, because they actually amended it to say taxpayers will fund transition surgeries if they are, quote, medically necessary.
Proving they knew it was there.
So the Trump Justice Department, the Trump Bureau of Prisons went in and they looked at this and said, well, let's allow for gender transition surgeries if they are, quote, medically necessary.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson here, Joe and Mika, is that Donald Trump has contempt for his own audience. He knew his people wouldn't care about the lie. We cared about the truth. Right. And so that was when we were really proud of the pushback we've done.
And the crazy thing is $30 million in ads for something she said at a forum. When she said it at a forum, Donald Trump was actually enacting the law in the Justice Department and his Bureau of Prisons.
Crazy.
Co-founder and board member of the Lincoln Project, Rick Wilson. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate
you guys.
Great.